to talk about the Bay Laurel tree. Now this is different from the Mediterranean Bay Laurel. This is a tree that is native to the west coast of the United States. Specifically, it's native to California, from San Diego County on up to Central Oregon. And this tree here, it's called California Bay in California, Oregon Bay in Oregon. It's also known in much of Oregon as Myrtlewood in California. And it's in the Laurelaceae family, so it's related to the Mediterranean Bay Laurel of the Mediterranean region, which is the Mediterranean Bay Laurel is more of a shrub, an evergreen shrub, not as hardy as this tree, and both have very fragrant leaves. The Mediterranean Bay Laurel was the laurel wreath that was used to crown Olympic victors and Roman emperors and successful Roman generals and such, and is also used nowadays as a culinary herb in soup pots and such, to season soup pots and meats and things like that. This related species has an even more fragrant leaf than the Mediterranean Bay Laurel. This is the Oregon Bay that is so potent, in fact, in its fragrance that it has to be used much more sparingly than the Mediterranean Bay because of its potency. And in fact, used in too great of a concentration, it can cause headaches in some individuals. And so it should be used only in small quantities, but it is historically used as a seasoning, and the nuts also were consumed historically, which are starting to form here right now, by the native peoples on the west coast. It's not as good a nut, certainly, as a hazelnut, or golden chinkapin, but it is a bitter nut that can be leached to remove the bitterness, much like the leaching of acorns to remove the bitterness. In places like Central Oregon and Northern California, the wood is often used commercially. This is a cutting board here of what's sold as Myrtlewood in the industry. You can see the tight growth rings. It's not a fast-growing tree. This is a cutting board, was a wedding present of ours, so I can date it at 36 years of daily use. So very tough, hard, dense wood that wears very well for a purpose like that. And it's used, wood is also used in other crafts and such. And the tree itself is evergreen, and which is kind of unusual, and broad-leafed evergreen. It's the Latin name for it, Umbellularia californica, refers to the flowers, which are small yellow flowers that have a umbrella-like pattern to the shape of the little yellow flowers. It's now September, and the nuts are ripening, and we can take a closer look at them. This is a newly planted tree of the Mediterranean Bay, and this is just a shrub native to the Mediterranean region and not nearly as hardy as the Oregon Bay. You can see the Oregon Bay is quite productive. It does this every year. It's a slow-growing tree, but they can eventually get diameters like this and 80, 90 feet tall. Very, very mature trees can achieve quite a great age and size. This is the husk. This green husk slightly yellow as it ripens, and inside is a relatively thin shell, and so the nut itself is about the size of a hazelnut. So these trees are pretty drought tolerant once established. We have very dry summers here. They can grow in sun or part shade, somewhat shade tolerant actually, slow growing, and so far I would say hardiness to about 0 degrees Fahrenheit consistently. Well, thank you very much.